Part 28. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 271. Chapter 271 Inseparable. This time Fen Ling and Ye Qinghan packed up and left the next day. Because there were many people who needed to go, not everyone knew Fen Ling. At that time, because Fen Ling had something to do, he did not stay in the Blood Evil League for a long time. He left. Therefore, many people had never seen Fen Ling and were particularly confused about the girl next to the master. Who is she? I don't know. Have any new people come in recently? Unclear. Seeing their confusion, Fen Ling introduced herself. Hello, my name is Fen Ling, you can call me, Miss Fen. Call Mistress. Ye Qinghan stood up from the side and looked at the people below threateningly. This is my woman, so you should call me mistress. Everyone. The Lord has a mistress? When did this happen? How come they don't know? After everyone was shocked, they suddenly came back to their senses and realized that although this mistress was not very powerful, how dare the Lord take her to the western regions? You know, the environment there is very harsh. But Ye Qinghan didn't say anything, and none of them dared to ask. If they did, they would be afraid of being slapped to death by their master. Everyone set out on the road in such a confused way. They all drove there, but because the road in the western region was very bumpy and had to pass through mountains, deserts, and oceans, the whole journey lasted 3 days and 3 nights. In addition, Fen Ling and the others were unlucky, and the weather conditions were particularly bad, so the group's time was extended to 2 days and 2 nights. Many people have experienced nausea and vomiting. Fen Ling looked at them, pursed her lips, took out a few medicine bottles and gave them to Dong Xie. This is to prevent nausea and vomiting. You let them eat it, but I only have so much now. You can sort out the ingredients, it's limited, so I can only make perfume, which can also relieve the temporary nausea and vomiting. Thank you, mistress. Dongxi's eyes lit up, and he immediately went down and divided it. At first, everyone was a little skeptical. After all, can such a small pill really relieve symptoms? However, after 3 minutes, they were convinced, completely convinced, and they could still feel whether it was uncomfortable or not. Dongxi treats people with very serious symptoms. But now, not only is it no longer uncomfortable, but all the uncomfortable symptoms are gone. It's as good as a normal person. Their eyes lit up when they looked at Fen Ling. This is so awesome. Where did you get all these weird things? Ye Qinghan looked at Fen Ling and laughed. She is always creating surprises for him all the time. Fen Ling shrugged. I did it because I thought it was fun at the time, but because it was useless, I didn't do much. It seems that I will do more in the future. Fen Ling looked at those people and said with a smile. As for the things used to make perfume, they are similar to a few medicines used to treat acclimatization, so I can do it otherwise. There is nothing I can do. A clever woman cannot make a meal without rice. Fen Ling shrugged and said without stopping his hands. Ye Qinghan looked at Fen Ling and suddenly felt that he had earned it. Having such a lovely, smart, and considerate wife like Fen Ling was the greatest luck in his life. Because of Fen Ling, everyone's discomfort was soon relieved. They suddenly felt that Fen Ling was really good. Although she couldn't fight, she could treat them. After all, if you get sick, what are you going to do with it? Therefore, maintaining a healthy body is also very important to them, but because of their limited medical conditions, they have forgotten it. Now that Fen Ling is here, they all feel that they can't live without doctors. End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 272. Chapter 272 Farming. On the 3rd day, they had already entered the sea. This sea was more dangerous in strong winds and rainy days, but generally speaking, there were no accidents. It's just that maybe Fen Ling and the others were unlucky, so they encountered a tsunami. At this time, the fleet was in the middle of the ocean, and there was no way to leave. Just when everyone was worried about what to do, they suddenly saw a protective cover opened by the ship at the front, covering all of them. "It's the Lord!" I don't know who screamed, and then they saw that they were still surrounded, but no one or even a boat was harmed. Everyone was shocked. They knew that the Lord was powerful, but they never knew that he was so powerful and could even deal with natural disasters. "The Lord is mighty! The Lord is mighty! The Lord is mighty!" Behind, everyone was cheering. At the front of them, Fenling, after shedding her strength, collapsed directly into Yaking Han's arms. Just now, she covered her with her protective shield. However, as we all know, natural disasters are unavoidable for them, even those with special abilities. Threats. If it weren't for absorbing the energy of the thing in Yaking Han's body, I'm afraid they would have been completely wiped out just now. However, the disadvantage after absorbing it is that her power cannot be used for a few days. "Thank you for your hard work." Yaking Han looked at Fenling distressedly and said. Fenling shook his head. "Why am I working so hard? I just don't want everyone to die for no reason before they reach the finish line. By the way, that thing in your body. Was there anything strange just now?" After hearing this, Yaking Han felt it and shook his head. "No, very good. I felt a little irritable at first, but after feeling your power, I calmed down inexplicably." Yaking Han was also surprised. The little thing in his body was really cold and no one was allowed to touch it. Therefore, there were seniors who wanted to take this little thing out of his body, but no one could do it. They failed with every exception, but unexpectedly, Fenling succeeded today. "Lingling, you are really my little lucky star," Yaking Han said suddenly. Fenling curled her lips and said, "So, you have to protect me for these 2 days. After all, she has no strength at all now and is no different from a weakling." Yaking Han nodded solemnly. "Don't worry, I will protect you and prevent you from losing a hair." "That's not necessarily true, after all." Fenling scratched her head and pulled out a hair. "Look, didn't it just fall off?" Yaking Han. What a naughty little girl. Soon, they arrived at the base. Yaking Han directed the others to set up camp. Because Fenling had not fully recovered, he simply found a place to sit down. She looked around and saw that it was indeed quite desolate. "Yaking Han, how do you manage your food?" She saw that the food that Yaking Han and the others brought was not much, and it should be quite difficult to find food in this place. "The regulations of the Western region prohibit you from bringing too much food, so every time we arrive, we can only find ways to find wild vegetables here to eat." Yaking Han sighed. "This is why everyone says that the environment in the Western regions is very harsh." "Is there any land here?" Fenling suddenly asked. "Yes, but the soil quality here is not good, so it is difficult for things to survive, unless they are local vegetables and fruits from the Western regions. However, that kind of thing is very unpalatable when grown." Yaking Han said silently in his heart. Fenling smacked her lips and said, "Find me a piece of land and let's see if I can grow vegetables and fruits using my special seeds." End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 273. Chapter 273. It's hard to say. Yaking Han. His little woman's brain circuit. Sure enough, it is not something that ordinary people can understand. Despite this thought, Yaking Han still found a piece of land for Fenling. Fenling scattered the seeds he brought. Although Yaking Han didn't know why they came out here, Fenling would bring such things as seeds. Fenling often told him to be prepared, but this kind of thing obviously went beyond the realm of being prepared. Fenling looked at the seed, then stretched out his hand, and a white light flashed. I saw the seeds that were still in the ground suddenly sprouting new shoots, and then they grew into various vegetables and fruits. Yeah, King Han. Have the current auxiliary abilities become so abnormal? However, in any case, with Feng Ling's presence, they don't have to worry about what to eat. Although there is no meat, having vegetables is already very good for them. Over there, Yao Lang and Fu Su also followed the large army to the western region. They will start a war at dawn tomorrow. No one can imagine this outcome. No one can predict it. All they can do is try their best. However, what Fu Su and Yao Lang didn't expect was that this time, Luo Cheng actually asked a little girl named Chi Yu to lead the team. A girl who has just joined the league. Although she has already reached the top level, how can she lead the team hastily without any actual results? This is extremely irresponsible behavior for other people's lives. Not to mention Fu Su and Yao Lang, others were also dissatisfied with Luo Cheng's decision and objected one after another. Commander, Chi Yu is just a caretaker and has never done anything like this. How can you let her lead us? This is against the rules. Yeah, if she has some experience, we have nothing to say, but now, she is just a blank piece of paper. How can you be sure that she will definitely lead us to win the final upgrade? Please Lenovo, take back your life. Everyone objected one after another, and Chi Yu's face turned pale. This group of ignorant humans dared to oppose her. Do they know her identity? Don't worry, this is the Lord's command. Do you think the Lord is wrong? You are still dissatisfied with the Lord from the bottom of your heart. Chi Yu looked at the group of people below and raised his proud head. She believes that smart people know how to answer this question. Sure enough, after he said it, no one objected, but no one supported her either. Chi Yu looked at the people below, feeling very jealous, but she still couldn't get angry, because, if she was angry, these people would be even more unconvinced. She must follow the Lord's instructions and remain cold. The Lord said, He will help solve the rest. Luo Cheng said, I know you don't believe Chi Yu, but I brought her out, just like my daughter. I hope that you can follow Chi Yu in the future and obey her orders no matter what. Do you hear me? I will follow Chi Yu and watch her tell you to do things. You only need to obey the order. Leave the rest to me and Chi Yu. It's getting late today, and the fight will continue tomorrow. You all should retreat and rest now. If anyone is unconvinced, then I welcome him to come and have a chat with me after the battle is over. In other words, no one can change Chi Yu's decision to become the captain. It's true, Han Jun demonic wolf complained. Fu Su looked at Luo Cheng opposite him, his eyes darkened. It's hard to say whether he is a foolish king or someone with scheming intentions. He always felt that Luo Cheng was not the kind of person who didn't consider the consequences. End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 274. Chapter 274, Detecting the Enemy Situation. After all, judging from his connection with Luo Cheng, he is a person who particularly hopes that others can obey his orders in all aspects and does not allow anyone to question him. But today, so many people questioned him, but he did not react at all. Angry. What is this Luo Cheng thinking about? While everyone was finishing their meal, Fu Su called Feng Ling and told her what happened today. Tell me, what is this Luo Cheng thinking about? Why was he acting so strange today? Feng Ling smiled and took a bite of the apple. This question should be asked to himself. If one day, a person's behavior is not in line with his usual behavior, either, he will be shocked by everything, or, it's just that he is planning something else, and I am more inclined to the latter one. However, she still doesn't know what Luo Cheng is planning. This man is very strange. This person really is. Fu Su shook his head. In short, during this period, you keep an eye on Luo Cheng for me. No matter what he does, you must report to me in time, and Chi Yu, you should pay more attention. Finally, tomorrow is about to start. You and the demon wolf should protect yourselves. I don't want to see no one when I go back. Okay, Fusu was moved to tears. Hey, my little ancestor knew how to care about people. I was so touched. Just when I thought about it, I heard Feng Ling say, after all, I don't want the FL Institute to have fewer people, otherwise, I will have to recruit new people, which is troublesome. Fusu, it knew that the little ancestor was unreliable, so he threw the table. What big spring and autumn dream has he been doing all day long? Really are. The next day, when it was just dawn and the sun was only halfway up, everyone was already up. Feng Ling and Yeking Han stood at the front, and they were on the side. On this day, they would act by ear, depending entirely on whether the alliance could hold on. After all, Luo Chen didn't know that they had come yet. If he knew about it, there might be some plans that Luo Chen would not implement here. Things you don't know are always scarier than things you know, so Feng Ling and Yeking Han decided to observe first. Let's go there first. You guys, come with us. Yeking Han pointed to a few people, who will form a small team. According to Feng Ling, every war, their alliance will be conducted in the form of small teams, so this time, even if Chi Yu leads the team, this model will never change. They only need to pretend to be members of the alliance. Alright. Because of the large number of people in the alliance, most of the time, they don't know each other. As for clothes and brands, Feng Ling has everything. For convenience at that time, Feng Ling brought the clothes of 3 teams to the FL Research Institute. After leaving the alliance, and no one cares. After all, they couldn't remember what Feng Ling took and what he didn't take. This also makes it easier for them to sneak in. Dongzi, please be careful here and don't let others take advantage of the situation, Feng Ling instructed. Dongzi nodded. Please rest assured, mistress, Dongzi understands. After saying that, Feng Ling and Yeking Han left. Today is Chi Yu's first time leading a team. She was a little excited. Looking at so many people below, she raised a smile. Finally, one day, she could command people casually with confidence. She has liked to experience this kind of feeling of being superior to others since she was a child, and finally, she experienced it in the Special Alliance. Everyone listens to the order. The first team and the second team go to the front to detect the enemy situation. The rest of the people stay put. After the order came out, everyone was dumbfounded. What kind of order is this? At this time, detecting the enemy. End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 275. Chapter 275 is different. Although, they have already decided on the time and place, and if they first sent people to detect the enemy's situation when the enemy was concentrating on preparing for the battle, it would be almost inevitable that these 2 teams would be destroyed by the enemy. This is not a command at all. It is not for them to die at all. The people in the first team and the second team were full of reluctance. The captain of the first team looked at Chi Yu and said, I don't think it's appropriate. We don't know how many people are on the other side. To detect the enemy's situation at this time is to risk death. We should send people after we have a certain understanding of the enemy, and we must have a clear understanding of the terrain. Please take back your life. Am I the leader or are you the leader? Do you know what I think? Just go if I tell you to. Why is there so much nonsense? Chi Yu was very dissatisfied with someone refuting her. She looked up and down at the first team. The captain suddenly smiled and said, Oh, I understand, you are afraid of death, right? If you are afraid of death, then go back. What kind of battle are you here to participate in? Since it is open, you should not be afraid of death. I will give you 2 the choices. First, go back. Second, bring your team members over there. Chi Yu looked at the captain coldly. And Luo Chen was obviously present, but he didn't say a word. The captain was heartbroken and said, "Follow the order." For people with special abilities, they have many restrictions, especially those like them. They cannot escape from the battlefield, otherwise, they will receive the most severe sanctions. However, Chi-Yu clearly makes no sense. The captain looked at the dark forest where he was, his heart was filled with despair. Fenling and the others had been squatting nearby. The team was not far away. Fenling and Yekinghan came over first to see the situation. Unexpectedly, they saw this scene. The captain of the first team, Hua Li, was a very good captain. The first team was also the most capable of all the teams at the time. Chi-Yu actually sent them out to explore the road. It was simply a no-brainer. Yekinghan, I can't stand idly by. Hua Li once helped her, and she promised to return it if there was a chance in the future. However, there has never been a good opportunity, and this is an opportunity. Yekinghan nodded, indicating that he knew what Fenling meant. Okay, I'll go with you. Ye Fenling smiled and nodded. For their team, Fenling asked 11 Du to take them to hide first. They could not come out without their orders. Zidu took the order and left. Fenling and Yekinghan walked towards Huel. Lord, how did I do? Chi-Yu thought he was doing a good job, so Luo Cheng didn't even come out to stop him. Luo Cheng looked at Chi-Yu and smiled lightly, you did a good job. And it's very good. Hua Li usually did not deal with him, but now, Chi-Yu even sent Hua Li out to die without waiting for his order. If Hua Li dies, then the alliance will have one less person to oppose him. At that time, the entire alliance was not yet within his grasp. Luo Cheng took a deep breath and felt that the air in the western region had become much better recently. Received praise from Luo Cheng. Chi-Yu is very happy. She felt that she had received Luo Cheng's approval, and instantly she no longer regarded those people below as human beings. Those people's vision is only that narrow. Captain, do we have to go? They have already reached the border, and if they go beyond that, they will reach a place of alien species. Go over, don't worry, I will do my best to protect you. Hua Li took a deep breath and looked at the young people following him, feeling powerless. He was the one who harmed them. If they were not in the first team, so would things be different? End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 276. Chapter 276 Join. They have never seen the leader of the alien species, and this time, Chi-Yu gave them an order to find the leader behind the alien species. Hua Li smiled bitterly. He is just an ordinary person. Because he has special abilities, he feels that he can use this thing to make a little contribution to other people. But in essence, he is an ordinary person who cannot be more ordinary. There is no intrigue, no small thoughts. How could there be someone who wants to find the person behind it? No one has been able to find the person behind this for so many years. How could he be found as soon as he was searched? That Chi-Yu clearly made things difficult for him because he saw him refuting him. However, because this was an order, he had no choice but to do it, and this time, they all brought things with them, and Chi-Yu could see where they were and what they were doing. Equivalent to a monitor. Let's go, I'll go check on the situation first. Not far away, Hua Li saw the alien species. However, they were a small group of people, and their number was countless times greater than theirs. Past. Chi-Yu's order came through the earphones. Hua Li smiled bitterly, I'll go there. You guys go together. Chi-Yu frowned, what were you doing alone? If you want to go there, of course you have to go together. Miss Chi, if we go there together at this time, the target would be too big. Hua Li was really going to be off by Chi-Yu. This Chiyu, she didn't understand tactics at all. She was really just giving random orders. However, Luo Cheng had no intention of stopping Chiyu and just let it go. He felt that Luo Cheng was deliberately targeting him. Otherwise, how could he not say a word? This is not in line with Luo Cheng's character at all. He is a particularly good combat commander. You should be able to see that this Chiyu doesn't know anything at all. Luo Cheng, do you really want to be so absolute? Don't talk about this with me. I'm ordering you to go over here. Your order is invalid. Suddenly, a voice appeared outside the screen. It was male and female, and Chiyu could not tell whose voice it was for a moment. Then, the screen was completely disconnected, and it was dark, and even the voice could not be heard. This entire network has completely disappeared. Chiyu immediately exploded. What's going on? What's going on? Didn't you say this machine is good? Before I came, I repeatedly requested that this machine be protected. Do you know that this machine is more important than your lives? Without this machine, how can we fight this war? I ask you, how to fight? Everyone was silent. Because, Chiyu is simply a fool. Before this thing, didn't they still fight well? 10 years ago, they also participated and won with great difficulty. Combat and machines have nothing to do with each other. What's more, this machine is just a monitor. Where are the people? Is there anyone? Come and fix the machine for me. Chiyu's face turned red with anger. However, if no one cares about her, who will repair this broken machine? There is obviously no network. Everyone glanced at their mobile phones, not intending to tell Chiyu, but just watched her go crazy over there. Over there, Hua Li looked at Feng Ling, who suddenly appeared in front of him, and was stunned for a long time. 0. It's Lord Ling. Hua Li's words made everyone else in the first team blush. Feng Ling said, Lord Ling. Why are you here? Didn't I say it? I owe you a favor. I think you need my help this time. Feng Ling smiled and then introduced Ye King Han. This is the leader of the Blood Fiend Alliance, Killing God. I now join the Bloodthirsty Alliance. End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 277. Chapter 277. So stupid. Feng Ling briefly introduced the Blood Evil Alliance and Ye King Han. Hua Li was a little surprised. He was not unaware of the grudge between Zero and God Killer. It could be said that almost everyone in the alliance knew about it, because Zero never concealed these things, mainly because he was too lazy to hide them. Everyone felt that Zero would definitely be on the opposite side of God Killer, so no one usually dared to mention God Killer in front of Zero. However, they did not expect that Zero would directly join the Blood Evil Alliance this time. Hello, my name is Hua Li, and they are all my team members. Hua Li briefly introduced himself and looked at Ye King Han. This man does have a temperament that is difficult to approach. He had to admit that there was something about this god-killing thing. By the way, Mr. Ling, why did you come here? Hua Li still focused on Feng Ling. Mainly, the fact that Feng Ling would appear in the western regions is surprising enough. Feng Ling said, this matter may involve the entire world. If it is not handled well, it will not be an internal matter for us special ability users, but will affect all humans on Blue Star. Therefore, I have to come. She actually wants to be a salted fish. If possible, who wouldn't want to be a salted fish? But the problem is, if this salted fish is done, then if something happens in the future that they cannot avoid, she will regret. And Feng Ling, it's not like he made himself regret it. Follow us, Feng Ling said. Follow you? Hua Li probably knew what Feng Ling meant, but if they joined the Blood Evil Alliance, it meant they would betray the alliance. The current alliance is different from the previous alliance. We have to learn to be flexible. Hua Li, You have to think clearly whether you want to be loyal to the alliance or to the oath you made in your heart. With almost no need to consider, Hwal chose the latter. Because, as people with special abilities, they joined the alliance for the sake of the oath in their hearts. So, I will join you, but if we don't go back for a long time, Chi-yu will only think that you are dead. It was exactly as Feng Ling thought. Because Hua Le and the others had not been able to go back, Chi-yu was impatient to wait. Moreover, the network was not good all the time. She had no choice but to take another group of people over, but this time, just let them inquire at the border. Chi-yu felt that the voice just now must have discovered them, so she couldn't go in rashly. However, Hua Le and the others were really stupid. She had given such an order, and they would still be discovered. They all said the purpose is to detect the enemy's situation, not to kill others. Chi-yu cursed Hua Le in his heart, and then waited for the reply from the second station. Soon, the second team came back. They told Chi-yu that the aliens had begun to come towards them. This time, the second team also brought news, that is, the people with special abilities and the aliens, the ratio is 1 to 10, which means that the alien species is 10 times larger than them. How to beat this child? Chi-yu was stunned. She looked at Luo Cheng. Master, is it impossible to win? She originally wanted to have a few friends, but now, it was clear that she couldn't fight to give up. So, what should she do? If we talk about tactics, which tactical board should she use first? Chi-yu was immediately stunned. Luo Cheng glanced at her lightly and said, defensive formation. Okay master, defensive formation. Although Chi-yu didn't know what the defensive formation was, he still said it obediently. Luo Cheng looked at Chi-yu like that and felt disgusted to death. He was really stupid. End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 278. Chapter 278 Idiot. What? Some idiot came here to inquire about the news. Countless heads were kneeling on the ground, looking respectfully at the man in black robes at the front. The man's voice was cold and without any warmth. The alien next to the man seemed to be of a higher level and nodded, yes, my lord, there was a group of people who seemed to want to come in, but I don't know why they left later, and there were also a group of people who looked around us for a long time, and then, walk. When the man heard this, he sneered, haha, they are all a bunch of idiots. Lord, do we need to do anything to them? They are still in our place, and I can send people over to kill them at any time. The man made a killing gesture. The man shook his head, you don't need to know that their number is the same as our number. Moreover, I believe that we have made so much progress over the years. Moreover, the abilities of half-kind people have improved a lot recently. This time, we can definitely win. The Lord is wise. The man nodded, then knelt down and worshipped, which seemed to be exactly the same as the ancient etiquette. The man nodded and asked them to get up, it's about to start. Remember my requirements and follow them. They will never be able to get in, and they will lose a lot of people. At that time, only they will ask for our share, and there is no possibility of us asking them to let go. He clearly remembered that 10 years ago, his teacher led so many people to fight, but in the end, only a few went back. He clearly remembered that at that time, there were many victims everywhere, and he alone looked at the mess at night. I swore to take revenge. He himself has no three views, but if the teacher supports him, he must make the teacher happy. And this time, that's why we came here. The battle started soon after. Everyone made a defensive formation according to Luo Cheng's order. They were able to resist at the beginning, but later, they gradually became exhausted. There were too many people on the opponent's side. Although they were in a defensive formation, still, the loss of candidates cannot be avoided. If the plan is not changed, it may. The captains of several small teams looked at Chi-yu and said, Miss Chi, what method should we use next? What method? Didn't the master tell you to set up a defensive formation? Chi Yu frowned and looked at those people. What did they think they were? Why do you still ask him this kind of question? Miss Chi, are you ready to move? The formation in each period is different. Only in this way can it be of greatest use at each stage. The defensive formation has been resisting for a while. If it continues, everyone will lose their physical strength. No, at that time, everything will be over. Then you just wait for the master, and I'll ask when he comes back. Chi Yu frowned. It was really useless. However, the owner didn't know where he was, and suddenly he couldn't be found. They have already started fighting in the woods. A man looked at Luo Cheng and said. Luo Cheng nodded. Don't worry, this time, if you leave that girl Chi Yu, it will be absolutely foolproof. She doesn't understand formations and can only give random orders. When the time comes, you can completely punish them. Well, I know you are reliable. Don't worry. After this matter is over, the devil will ask you to come over and be a high-level person. The salary will definitely be much better than what you are now. Thank you, thank you. Don't worry, I will definitely do this well. And I will do it very well, Luo Cheng said with a smile. The man nodded, expressing his trust in Luo Cheng. The two talked briefly for a while, and then the man left. Luo Cheng looked at the man and admired it. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 279. Chapter 279. Over there, a war between alien species and people with special abilities has broken out. However, because of Chi Yu's improper command and the difference in the number of people, the people with special abilities suffered heavy casualties not long after. Chi Yu looked at all this and was furious. Are you all trash? Hurry! Our borders are about to be breached. Fight quickly. Miss Chi, apart from asking us to fight, what else will you do? If your mouth were always somewhere else, I'm afraid you could win a performance award. The captain of the third team said sarcastically, this is a battle. What kind of cooperation is needed? If it only depends on us, then what are you doing here, looking at that? Chi Yu didn't expect anyone to say anything about her. She was stunned for a moment, and then yelled, I am your leader, you should support us. Luo Cheng asked you to listen to me. Why do you keep going against me? You guys, believe it or not, if Luo Cheng comes back, I will tell him your attitude towards me. When the time comes, let Luo Cheng fire you all. Resign is what we want, the captain of the third team sneered. If Luo Cheng will fire us because of this thing, then I can only say that Luo Cheng is not a good person either. Don't tell me, I've been dissatisfied with Luo Cheng for a long time. If it weren't for this battle, I would have pushed it out. But now, he actually let a fool come over to take command. I should have recognized it clearly. Luo Cheng, nothing. You, how dare you talk like that? Chi Yu looked at him in disbelief. The captain of the third team was born as a special soldier, so he has a very good momentum in all aspects. Therefore, facing Chi Yu, he is completely outnumbered. Although Chi Yu is usually very arrogant, she is still a little scared in front of brother He Bing. After all, this man has been a soldier before, and being a soldier means that he may have killed someone. Come here, everyone, prepare Plan B. The captain of the third team directly passed Chi Yu and became the leader. Chi Yu looked at all this coldly, as if he didn't understand why his position suddenly disappeared, and these people were actually listening to the orders of the captain of the third team. Stop, don't use Plan B. What Plan B? I order you to continue with that defensive formation, do you hear that? Continue the defensive formation. Hurry up and show it to me. What are you doing? No matter what Chi-yu said, those people still ignored her. This is their own life, and they also bear very important responsibilities. If they really listen to Chi-yu, the consequences will be disastrous. Under the leadership of the captain of the third team, their situation has improved a lot, but due to the huge gap in numbers, they are still at a disadvantage. Suddenly, a white light suddenly appeared not far away. Everyone was stunned. This white light seemed a little familiar. Lord Zero, it's Lord Zero, oh my God, Lord Zero is back. Lord Zero. Lord Zero. Lord Zero. Everyone cheered and jumped for joy. Chi-yu himself can feel that the current atmosphere has changed a lot from the beginning. However, she was unwilling to give in. What the hell, Master Ling? Ling has already left the Special Alliance. Feng Ling, it turned out to be Feng Ling. How could it be Feng Ling? How did she come here? Zero, didn't you say you would never join the Terminator League? How can a person who has been thrown into the trash by the Terminator have the nerve to come back? Chi-yu raised his head and looked at Feng Ling, as if he was mocking her. End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 280. Chapter 280. Everyone was very angry when they heard Chi-yu talking about the gods in their hearts. If they were suppressed before, they exploded now. After all, you have said so about our little god. If we endure it, are we still human? It is absolutely unbearable. Everyone looked at Chi-yu with angry eyes. By the time Chi-yu noticed something was wrong, their words had already attacked him. Yo yo yo, it's incredible, there are still people who dare to talk about little gods. Is Miss Chi-yu afraid that she doesn't know Lord Ling's position in the Special Alliance? She is the center brain of the Alliance. Since she became the center brain of the Alliance, she is the only one who doesn't want the Alliance. There has never been a time when the Alliance abandoned her. Miss Chi-yu said, don't you think it's self-deprecating when you say this? Haha, Miss Chi-yu doesn't seem convinced. If you're not convinced, then you might as well wait for the Alliance Center. Farewell, Miss Chi-yu's brain. I think she will probably die in a few days due to the loss of brain cells. You guys, shut up all of you, Chi-yuki yelled. But everyone really doesn't care. They looked at Chi-yu coldly, but looked at Feng Ling enthusiastically. Feng Ling smiled and didn't care. Of course she knew what happened to them. If Chi-yu hadn't photographed Hua Li, then maybe she would have said a few words, but now, this Chi-yu should just die. Chi-yu felt Feng Ling's gaze and was inexplicably stunned. Looking over, he spotted Hua Li in the crowd. Why are you there? You're not dead, Chi-yu shouted. His voice was harsh, but it didn't sound good anyway. Hua Li smiled and said, it's hard for Miss Chi-yu to still remember me. I won't guess, it's official Hua Li. However, Hua Li has now joined the Blood Evil Alliance and is no longer a member of the Special Alliance, so it seems that Miss Chi-yu can't control it. I was there. Blood Evil Alliance, Chi-yu frowned, what kind of organization is this? However, if she has not heard of it, it means that Luo Cheng has not talked to her about it, so it should not be a big organization. Chi-yu thought this, and then said directly, why did you break the alliance? Because you were greedy and afraid of death? It's like you picked up the watermelon and lost the sesame seeds. Suddenly, the captain of the third team laughed. Why are you laughing? Chi-yu was furious. Why did this man always go against it without listening? I'm laughing at your ignorance. We all know that the Blood Evil Alliance is a special alliance. Even before that, it was even more powerful than the Bit Alliance. The existence of the Blood Evil Alliance has only been 5 years, and its development speed this is something that the Alliance simply cannot achieve, and the current leader of the Blood Fiend Alliance, God Killer, is even more capable of competing with Lord Zero. You think you are not ridiculous? if the Blood Evil Alliance is the sesame, then we are really willing to reduce the sesame. Everyone laughed very happily when they heard the man say this. This is the first time for them to feel so happy. They would have been depressed to death before. Then, so what, in short, now that Zero is no longer in the alliance, you can only listen to me, not Zero's. They all said they want to join me, so they can also choose not to listen to you. Feng Ling just watched the excitement and didn't mind it. Moreover, since Luo Cheng's heart was already revealed, she needed to be merciful. These people had innocent hearts, and she couldn't let them die in vain. So, the best thing is to let them join the Blood Evil Alliance. Chi Yu felt a chill in his heart. Before he even said the word no, most people had already pledged themselves to the Blood Evil Alliance, and all this was just because of Feng Ling's words. End of this chapter.